Hello there. Welcome to today's show. Today, we have with us an award-winning digital native come evangelist working in the marketing and digital advertising field with experiences of working with many biggest brands of this country. He has launched 4 enterprises in his 19 plus years of professional experience and has worked as Chief Growth and Innovation Officer at Ogilvy and Mather, has won awards including Cannes Gold, felicitated by Campaign Asia, and is considered one of the most influential digital advertising personalities in this country. Now, he's running Unicorn Futuring Olympiad and helps new entrepreneurs create and establish amazing startups. So let's welcome Mr. Biraja Swain to today's episode. Hi Biraja, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure, it's great to have you here, and thank you for your time. First, can we start with a little bit about yourself, so our audience will get to know more about you?
Right. So, just to give you a quick background, I've been an out-and-out digital marketing professional. Came into internet in the .com boom time. I was one of the initial team which founded, which started with .com, and that time we were selling, auction as a concept where we didn't have e-commerce proper and stuff like that, far-fetched concept. But fortunately, thanks to our founders and the founding team there, we had a great experience there, and we went ahead to become one of the most successful startups that particular point of time. There were only a handful of them, right? And then somehow I landed into the advertising kind of field, and I've been in advertising, especially from there on. When I've seen completely, digital advertising grow from 5 million to 10 million to 400, 500 million, people that are there in India right now. So the whole journey of it, very exciting, and I'm sure there is a lot more to achieve right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been a great time, at least from a digital point of view. I think the current scenario in the last 3-4 months has been good. The kind of digital acceleration that COVID has provided is something that which IBM CEO summarized, saying that we have done 2 years of digital transformation in the last 3 months, right?
Wow.
So that's how. So a lot of businesses are struggling today to come online, get online and stuff. So we are helping quite a bit. So today, while I've got bored of the corporate world, so to say, and I moved out and started my consulting business in 2012. The whole reason was that wanted to do something which is challenging more, much more entrepreneurial and stuff like that. So I help a lot of startups and small medium enterprises to come online, scale up business, and so on and so forth. Right.
Tell me a quote which inspires you and which makes you get up every morning, and why?
Yeah. So I think the best quote which I still remember and I still practice is "Stay hungry, stay foolish" by Steve Jobs. Right. Every day when you wake up, you should looking forward with that enthusiasm that I need to do something today. I need to contribute somewhere, something, right? And not just go through the day as emotions. Typically saying I would like to go to the work from 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 and then come back and do things. You should have felt that you have contributed by the time you sleep at night. Right? So I think that's more important. And sometimes you should be crazy enough to do some mistakes.
Yeah.
Because unless you do 10 mistakes, one of them will not come back and become a big success, right? And even as time tells you, right? And that's also a kind of thing what venture capitalists, when they invest, they look at that.
Yeah.
They invest with the mindset that we would go 90% of the time wrong. But that 1% of the time or 10% of time you go right, it will compensate much more than what the 90% of the mistakes would take out through, right? So I think we should not be scared of doing mistakes, and we should always be hungry for more.
Talking about mistakes, can you tell us something from your life, some story where you have done some mistake which you didn't realize that time was actually helping you, and afterwards you have learned the value of it? Can you share some story?
Yeah, I've been a lot of mistakes. When I will tell you one mistake which was not that far off. So I started my own e-com venture in 2012 when I just quit my corporate job and said, you know what, I want to create something different and so on and so forth. So the idea and concept we had was social commerce that time. And one mistake that we did was assuming that the market was ready for it. I think a little bit more data searching, if you would have done before launching the whole venture, we would have been much more, exactly be able to pinpoint that this is not right for the market right now. Most probably, the current time is actually the good time to actually do a concept like that. And you will see a lot of other concepts, similar concepts crop up and do something. So that is one. Second is how we did not understand the consumer who was buying into our product. While our end goal was to connect with consumers, direct consumers, but for us, the consumer was larger brands, all FMCG brands and so on and so forth, which basically bought our product and then delivered to the customer. So we are more to a B2B2C brand. So we normally assumed that, or decided that we are a B2C brand, and we focused on the end consumer. While if we would have focused on a B2B2C model, then we would have focused more on the middle part of it and ended up selling better, which didn't happen. Right? So very clearly, it gives you a sense of saying, okay, so you have to research your market very well. That is one, and you have to always research your timing also very well into whatever great idea or product or solution that you have. Those two things are very, very important for any startup to succeed. The rest of the things are things that you can actually control. Timing of the market you cannot control because that's the ecosystem, right? And consumers you definitely cannot control what the consumer wants, right? So these are two uncontrollable which you need to focus on. And since you don't control this, I think research is very, very important. That is something that hard way. So we closed down the venture after 3 years of bootstrapping. Didn't work, but immense kind of learnings that I had while doing that particular venture. Don't regret it at all.
Perfect. So being for a very long time in the digital marketing space, what is the current trends that you are seeing in the market for companies to grow digitally?
Well, one thing is that what we're struggling, which everybody is struggling, is to get online as fast as possible. Speed is very important, right? Because if you are not there today, somebody else is your competitor is going to be there today and catch the customer, right? So speed is very important. That is very, very crucial. I think a lot of people also don't get the right kind of advice or the right setup to do it, and I find that prevalent altogether. And today, I can tell you that you don't need a fancy software company or a development company to create something, for you, which is completely bespoke and to do online or, be a e-com site or a transaction site or anything else. Everything is DIY, right? To jumpstart a business, I think you have a lot of self DIY kind of tools which are cheap and which are easily scalable from a point to, the time when you actually are starting to generate business. I don't think you have to spend that much of money. It's all SaaS-based product, so it's pay-as-you-go kind of model. So everything is there, right? So a lot of people fall down when they hear there is an exorbitant cost to invest as a capital kind of basis, and they get the wrong advice to actually do so for whatever reasons it is. But it is something that we go and tell subsequent clients, saying that don't bother about investing in platforms or creating something which is it's like getting a hammer to kill a mosquito, right? Don't do that, right? If you want to kill a mosquito, you get a small net, you can easily do that, right? You don't have to invest in a hammer or something which is much bigger. Start your business small and then scale up slowly, right? And as you scale up, you will get to know the means and best ways to actually scale up and grow the business, right? And get the infrastructure right. But don't invest in infrastructure too much. Rather, invest that to get your go to market much more stronger. Right. So how do you acquire customers? What is the acquisition methods that you want to employ? What are the cheap channels that you can actually get through? Invest in the whole funnel. A lot of startups that we see today are falling down because of the fact they have been started by two tech founders or somebody who's a finance guy or a tech guy. And what they do is they invest in low funnel tactics, right? Low funnel tactics is invest in Google and Facebook and just see, you can get some revenue and stuff like that. That is not sustainable. So to grow a brand, I think you have to invest in creating that brand. And people will buy you because they're emotional beings and they will buy into a brand. They never buy because your earphone has a feature of 25 decibels or, has a black covering and stuff like that. They will buy because this sounds or, this kind of brand sounds for pure quality, for example. Or if you buy a earphone on that particular make, you're rest assured that it will last you for at least 3 to 4 years. There is a sense of good sound quality and so on and so forth. So it's very emotional. It's not tangible as a feature. But in lower funnel tactic, we basically focus on a price point or something as a tangible kind of metric, which can easily be taken care by a competitor who can come and undercut you and take you out of the market, right? But if you create a brand, nobody can replace a brand. So Shushruth is a brand, so Shushruth can't be replaced, right? So, but if Shushruth go back and says, I'm a creative outfit, that could be hundreds of creative outfit saying that I'll make a banner for 100 rupees. Somebody will come back and say, I'll make a banner for 80 rupees. So it doesn't cut, a long-term perspective, right? So that's where they fall down. So we go back, and most of the times we have the conversation today is that how do I create a brand? How do I sustain that brand? And how do I scale up that particular brand? Right? Three things that we typically go and tell people, and people are starting to understand, because they're struggling to scale up the business from one particular point where they've got, say, for example, a revenue of say 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs. That 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs cannot go to a crore or a 2 crores unless you give a reason to the customer to buy what they want to buy and why they're buying into it, right? So the sense of brand is very important for founders to understand.
Yeah, perfect. Loved your approach that you emphasize so much on brand building and not just lower funnel tactics. Now, talking about brands, can you please tell us more about Unicorn featuring Olympiad and how it started?
Yeah, so that started as a very big social venture, and there are a group of friends, and we basically practically are neighbors. So while sitting, just before, I think last August, we had this idea in our heads and stuff. And then we said, what, let's, and we are very frustrated with the education system today in India, right? Or across the world for that matter, right? So what we are facing today is everybody is measured by a common yardstick, which is the mark sheet. And there is no focus on the kind of learning that typically happens. And so that is something that we, today we are still teaching Babur, Humayun, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, when it has very little relevance to kids today, right? So I think we wanted to make kids be smarter, especially in India, and that smarter kids go back and achieve a lot of things, because we believe there are two big pillars where country it grows, right? And these are two great pillars which India has not invested in the last 20, 30 years. One is health and one is education. For any country to grow and prosper, these are the two big infrastructure pillars that need to be there, right? And why should somebody go to study in a Berkeley or a Stanford when we have the best of minds here and we can give that environment to them to do that? The other sense was saying that since the course content is outdated, what is the skills that the young kid needs today to be street smart and absolutely be open and failure agnostic, to come back and say, yes, I want to take a shot at this and do something which is very different than doing engineering or a doctor or an MBA, right? These are the three options that typically you would see, and go and ask anybody who will say, I will go and do it, right? So we said, first is to give them basics of what is an entrepreneurial mindset. So how do you create an entrepreneurial mindset? Whether you do it in a job, whether you do a venture, whether you have a great idea, I think mindset is more important. How can I take a risk? I can take a risk and I can assess the market and then give them the tools and everything else. So we started with the concept with that and said, our vision was to create 100 unicorns by 2025 from India. That's the vision. And we still stick by that particular vision. So that vision can only be created when we start going back to schools and colleges and say, and give kids those kind of playbook, saying that take this and these will help you most probably crystallize your ideas, what you have, and then put it in kind of a business model which can actually be implemented, right? So how do you create a business plan? How do you go and ask for funding? How do you raise money? How do you learn the different tricks of running a startup, starting from because typically what happens is that two techies will come back and have a great idea and do that, but they don't know marketing, they don't know finance, they don't know compliance, they don't know taxation, right? They struggle on the other aspect of the business, and that's where they get bogged down. So if they know all these things, they can have the right people in place and they can have the right business model working for them, right? So I think that is what our goal was.
Mhm.
What has happened right now is that we started with the B2C kind of model. We found it a little bit difficult from a social angle because we anyway, again, were bootstrapped. We are not looking for funding and stuff right now. So we have just changed that model right now. So we are more B2B2C. So we are driven by entrepreneurial cells in institutes, in colleges and schools together. So we talk to professors and deans and the boards and trustee members. In fact, we just had a webinar on the 21st where we invited experts from Canada and from UK to advise our kids. We had around 100 odd participants in that webinar to tell them how you can actually go and set up a business in Canada if you have a great idea, or how you can go and set up a business in UK if you have a great idea, right? Like in India, you can actually, the government there gives you money to actually start a business of a great idea, right? So a lot of people don't know that, right? So if you have a great idea, there are a lot of countries you are actually looking for. For example, Malta is a great country for gaming companies. So most of the gaming companies in Malta, it is tax free. There is a whole lot of ecosystem around gaming there, which helps you quite a lot. So you benefit quite a lot than just sitting here and starting from India, right? So we are opening those opportunities both from the course content education side, then to the ecosystem side also. Saying after you complete the course, how you convert that into an outcome. So our goal is to not to focus on an output, which is like a certificate, is to focus on an outcome. If I can help the kid to set up a business or an idea, and we had the first program ending on February last year, just before the COVID hit. And we had 7 finalists, kids, purely kids from 13 to 20 years age. So one of the winners, who is 20-year-old guy, he has created a hologram kind of technology for education without any device. So you don't have any device like HoloLens or something that you wear on your head and it's very cumbersome and stuff. So he's created a box, which is a box that you can put up in a classroom, and that, you can project a complete solar system with you can drag and drop, you can expand with your hands, gesture tech and stuff like that. And he's raised money right now with the help of us, and now he's actually going back and going properly into a Series A kind of thing. It's more of a hardware software kind of business, but he's well on his way to actually create something very good, right? So we intend to help people like those, and these are people who also don't have the exposure, are not in big cities like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, are from areas of the whole of India. And that those are the kind of people that we wanted to reach for our venture.
So what is the advice you have for any new generation entrepreneur who is just starting out?
So the best advice is you have to be persistent. You really have to be persistent. If you have a great idea and you believe in it, go the long haul. You will have detractors in the way. Imagine WhatsApp becoming WhatsApp in 7 years. Imagine if the founders would have given up in the 3rd year or 4th year. We wouldn't have WhatsApp to how you're using it, the grand success about it, right? So an idea, the timing is very important, which is why you need to be right in the market, or you need to have the persistence to wait till the market actually happens. Even if you fail, I would still think it's a success, because the kind of learnings that you would get is immense, which will help you do something else or better the next time, right? And this is a very different analogy. I think India is changing. But if you go to Silicon Valley, the person who has failed startups in his resume is valued more, because he brings in the learning and the hardships that if you hire him, you will not do the mistakes, right? But here in India, I think 2-3 years back, if you say I'm from a failed startup, people will look at you with a little bit of disdain, right? Say, he couldn't make his startup or something like that. Still, that ignorance is there, but I think people are changing. I think, the more you keep failing, the better you will be. And don't start businesses with the focus of earning money. Start with the focus of creating something of value, which is a bigger motivation than money. I think if you are there, then you are on the right track.
So which books will you recommend for entrepreneurs to read and learn from?
I honestly am a book reader. I will be, very honest on the show. What I do is I read a lot of stuff which is happening around us. So I always remember one of my senior colleagues used to say, on my earlier bosses, saying, for you to be a leader, you need to be very aware around yourself. And to be aware around yourself, I keep suggesting all my, employees, colleagues, friends, saying at least spend an hour in a day reading.
Yeah.
Whatever you read, it could be news, it could be, I have my own Flipboard,
Yeah.
and I have to read before I go to sleep in the night. I have
Yeah.
to read and consume all the Flipboard that I've collected
Yeah.
on a daily basis, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I keep reading my own, peer groups like Professor Galloway. I have, Corey Dobbin, who is a great, optimizer on Facebook. He's actually a guru on Facebook campaigns and stuff like that. So I have a list of people whom I actually follow, and I keep them reading every day what they're posting, and so that helps me cut a lot, right? So I don't intend on reading books, and I don't have the patience to read books actually.
Can you please tell something to the viewers who may be interested in the UFO program? A few lines for them.
Great. So I think it's more about the entrepreneurial mindset, as I was talking about.
Yeah.
So what we come back and we would love to share with you through the program is, if you join into the program, is not only the basics of running a business or creating a business altogether. That is the course content part of it. But beyond that, what will happen in this thing, you will interact with around 40 to 45 mentors who are there across different facets of industries and categories. Together we have the best of best mentors out there. Everybody's listed on the website. You will get access to them. That is one. Second, you have access to internships where you can actually go back and test out. So for example, you would like to get into the advertising industry, you have partner companies where you can actually go and spend 2 months to understand how advertising typically works, right? To understand how technology company works, to understand how software development actually works. So get hang of it straight away from there itself. Or we also have professional services where we can come back and say, okay, you've got an idea, but you're too young enough to set up your company. We have services where we'll get you a chartered accountant, where we'll get you a taxation lawyer, where we'll get you a patent lawyer. Everybody is all there. So we'll help you set up the company in a very quick way. You don't have to struggle and go to pillars and posts to actually do that. So that's also is there. So that's what I was saying. We will help you complete to an outcome, but we'll also give you the entrepreneurial mindset, saying you cannot be just one siloed person. You have to be aware all around. And what are the different things that are necessary, whether it is distribution, whether it is go-to-market, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, whether it is compliance, whether it is taxation. You will have an all-round grasp of how things work for a company to be successful, right? So that's something, we would help impart to these young people. And just go and download the app, and you will get all those options there together. Get a demo course also. The first course is completely free for you to try out, and then you can, if you like it, you can enroll and then access all those features. We show you a complete pathway, and believe me, entrepreneurial mindset is very important in jobs today also, because when you are in charge of a P&L, when you go ahead and become a little bit senior, you'll be in charge of a P&L or a branch or a office, right? So that's where these things will actually come and help you. How do you deal with people? How do you deal with juniors? How do you deal with people who are working as a team, right? How do you manage a profit and loss account? All those things are also, it's like you're operating a small company within a company. It's not your company, but you're operating a company definitely, right? So that also helps you doing that also. So we want people to be really, really smart about it, and not just read bookish, but practice it and be practical in their approach, when they're actually doing a job or, running a venture.
Yeah. So if someone who is watching this show wants to find you and get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so you can drop me an email at hello@biraja.me, or you could, go up to our UFO and just, fill up the contact us form or get us. I mean, in fact, the best way is to download the app and, get in touch with us. We have people who are always responding to all your requests and stuff. So I think that's one of the best ways to reach about it. But you can also drop me a personal email. I'm more than happy to connect back.
So you have also been an Engagement member for the past few months. So how have been the experience of working with Engagement?
So I think we have been 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Working right now. I think it's been great. I think the output has been very good. Very clean, clear, clarified kind of output that we've got in the kind of creative output that we've got from you. I think we want to have a much deeper relationship. I think we have just started with only one client right now. I think we will expand to subsequent clients as the opportunity comes along together. But I think great quality, great speed. I think that are the two things that everybody expects from an agency. I think you are 5 stars out of 5. If I can call it till the time right now. Love working with you guys. and you will always have our support at any point of time, right? Because we love working with great people and people who have an entrepreneurial mindset. I think you guys typically in a Smaronica and you have shown that for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that.
It's very generous of you to say this, and thank you so much. So that's all for today. We'll be wrapping this up here.
You always give credit where it is to you, right?
Yeah. So that's all for today, and I hope whoever is watching this interview will be able to learn a lot about you and UFO, and also hopefully get in touch with you for the program and also to work with you as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shrishut. Pleasure being here, and look forward to working with you guys for a pretty long time.
Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Like the video because it will help us appeal to the YouTube algorithms and we can reach more people with your help. Share the video, tell other people about it. I will really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.